What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel. I gotta try and be as quiet as I can, because my family is still sleeping, but welcome to another episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. This week's episode is going to be a hell of an interesting, episode, because it was reported just today by Ringer. Big shouts to them. No copyrights. You guys know how this works. It was reported by Ringer that the Steiner Brothers are now getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. And for this episode, I'm going to talk about some of their accomplishments and some of the things that they had done together, but also some of the things that they had done separately as well. So to give you guys an idea of who the Steiner Brothers are, they actually made their professional wrestling debut in WCW back in 1988, where one of their first matches was actually at a pay-per-view called Starrcade '88, and also another show called Chi-Town Rumble, which I think was the only one of its kind, where where Rick Steiner would be accompanied by Scott, by his brother Scott, during his matches, and then not too long after that, they started to team up back in January 1989, and they ended up they had won multiple tag team titles, and they just went on to do their own thing. They ended up getting signed to WWE right around like November, December '92, and they ended up staying in WWE for a couple years, and they went back to WCW, winning tag team titles there. It was pretty insane, but there was also a lot of other bullshit that had happened to them during their time in the ring. So to give you guys an idea of some of their accomplishments, they're actually in the George Tragos, or Aris de Luthez, Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame, class of 2014. Scott is a former WCW champion. Both the Steiner Brothers are to come together are 5-time NWA/WCW television champions. They are actually 7-time NWA/WCW tag team champions. I believe both of them are former NWA/WCW United States tag team champions. They have won the Pat O'Connor Memorial Tag Team Tournament. They also had won tag team championships in Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, 2 tag titles in Japan. Excuse me. They had won a tag team title in PCW Preston City Wrestling, PWA Pro Wrestling America tag team titles. They had won a Pro Wrestling Illustrated award for Match of the Year against Lex Luger and Sting as Super Brawl 1 on May 19th back in '91, I believe. And then, of course, Tag Team of the Year 1990 and 1993. And they were ranked number 2 among the top 100 tag teams of the PWI years in 2003, which is incredible. Pure Action Championship Wrestling Tag Team Champion, United Wrestling Federation Rock and Roll Express Championship, 2-time WWE Tag Team Champions, and the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Awards for Match of the Year, which was against Hiroshi Hase and Kensuke Sasaki at a show called New Japan Super Show, which was actually produced by WCW, actually in conjunction with New Japan, in Tokyo on March 21st. I believe in 91, and then of course 1990 Tag Team of the Year. So, but if you look at them separately, and I'll start with Scott Steiner, because Scott had way too much more bullshit than you could ever think of. Oh my god, dude, you have no idea. So to give you guys an idea of some of the bullshit that he had dealt with, so during the 1990s, he had gained quite a bit of weight, which led to allegations of steroid abuse. And I know I shouldn't say this because it'll ruin like the idea of the Steiner brothers getting inducted, but I wanted to give you guys an idea of who the Steiners were, both inside and outside the ring, just to give you guys an idea. And I wanted to give you guys my thoughts on their induction into the Hall of Fame. So, obviously he did deny it. He ended up returning to WWE in late 2002, and he was actually asked to undergo a test, which he did agree to do on the condition that Triple H would take one as well, because of the fact that Steiner was going to be challenging Triple H for the World Heavyweight title back then, and apparently WWE did not follow through. And apparently Steiner claimed that WWE did not follow through with either test, which was kind of upsetting. But not only that, he also had dealt with legal issues. He had to perform. I guess he had to deal with 200 hours of community service, which was pretty insane. And then of course too, even during his days in TNA, he had more bullshit done to him, which is absolutely insane. And of course, he was also banned from attending the 2015 Hall of Fame ceremony, after Hulk Hogan's wife accused him of accosting her at the airport in San Jose, which was not good, to be honest. A lot of threats. Pretty sure you can take a guess of what those threats were. But as far as him as a superstar, he actually got several. As far as his amateur wrestling, 1983 Division I Big Ten, he got 5th place. And then also and then also 84, 85, 86, the Division I Big Ten, he was the runner-up 3 years running. And then of course in 86, All-American, he ended up getting 6th place. But as far as his professional wrestling career, he's actually the current Big Time Wrestling BTW Heavyweight Champion currently, which is awesome. He's also a former Canadian Wrestling's Elite television champion, a former Canadian Wrestling International Heavyweight Champion, a Continental Wrestling Association Tag Team Champion 3 times with Billy Travis and Jed Grundy. Big shout out to them, of course. A former Renegade Rampage, he had won the Renegade Rampage tournament, Dutch Pro Wrestling Dutch Heavyweight Champion, Again, as I have mentioned, the WWE Hall of Fame, class of 2014. WCW, World Champion, Television Champion, U.S. Champion, U.S. Tag Team Champion with his brother Rick, World Tag Team Champion, the Pat O'Connor Memorial Tournament, United States Championship Tournament twice in '99 and in 2000, and then of course the London Lethal Lottery Tag Team Tournament, which was a very interesting. It was interesting with Sting, and then of course the 8th Triple Crown Champion in WCW. He's also in the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame, class of 2021. And then, of course, too, he had several other championships as well. IWGP Tag Team title. NWA World title. Tag Team title. Hardcore title. Which he is actually the current champion, actually. And then, of course, his time in TNA. He's actually a former, two-time TNA Tag Team Champion alongside Booker T and Eli Drake, or I guess LA Knight. 2007 Feast or Fired. He actually was given. He actually won two briefcases. If you guys don't know Feast or Fired, it's basically the WWE's version of Money in the Bank, but instead of one briefcase, there's 4. One contains a back then. One contained. I think it contained one briefcase contained a world title shot. The other one contained a X Division title shot. The other one would contain a tag team title shot, and the last pink slip. What does pink slip mean? Simple. You're fired. Plain simple. 2007, he actually got 2 briefcases. One for the X Division title, and then one for the world title, which is pretty crazy. His time in WWE, two-time tag team champion. I don't think that. Yeah, he's won so many titles. It's absolutely insane. But I think despite all the legal issues that Scott had, he was also a part of he was also a part of the NWO, which was one of the most notorious factions in wrestling today. Absolutely insane. Like, I don't even have to describe how insane it was. But as far as Rick Steiner goes, a lot actually did have a lot did happen to him, because I believe, let's see, or actually he actually became actually Rick Steiner was the more, I guess in this sense, he was one of the more genuine of the two brothers, funny enough. But both men, as singles competitors, they've done quite a bit. As a tag team, they have done so much for tag team wrestling. And if you guys did not know, the last time we saw him in WWE, it was actually at New Year's Evil back in January, where he got the chance to celebrate with his son, Braun Breaker, as he had become NXT champion by defeating Tommaso Ciampa. If you guys do not know, Braun Breaker is actually Rick Steiner's son. One of his sons, actually. One of his kids, actually. I think, he's got 3 kids. Let's see. Yeah, 3 sons: Hudson, Maverick, and Bronson, or I guess Braun Breaker, which was pretty which is pretty awesome. Now he actually was a part of the Baltimore Ravens as an undrafted rookie, and then he ended up getting signed to WWE in actually last year. And he's currently selling real estate, which is pretty awesome over in the Atlanta area. So that's pretty cool. I have to admit that's actually pretty cool. I must admit. So aside from all of that, my thoughts on them getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, I think it's awesome. It's awesome. In fact, I think let's see. I know that Undertaker's getting inducted. Queen Sharmel's getting inducted. I know that Vader's getting inducted, and now the Steiner Brothers are getting inducted, and Shaq Gaspard is receiving the Warrior Award as well. So the question becomes, who should induct the Steiner Brothers into the Hall of Fame? The answer? Obvious. Braun Breaker. He's the only one that can do it. I don't think anybody else could. But that's just my personal opinion anyway. But I know that there's a lot of people that are gonna say that he shouldn't, that they shouldn't get inducted into the Hall of Fame. Excuse me, but I truly believe that they do deserve to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Because despite all the legal issues that Scott Steiner had, and all the bullshit that he was dealing with, both inside and outside of WWE, and both inside and outside of the ring, just in general, Scott Steiner became one of the most notorious superstars in wrestling. From his days in WWE, having assaulted a woman, we all know that story. His days in TNA, his days in WCW, their time in ECW. They actually went to ECW back in what was it, 95? Yeah, back in 95. In fact, I think both of them went to ECW back in 95. Where Rick actually debuted in April of 1995 at their show called at a live event called Three-Way Dance, which took place in Philly, where he was a substitute for Sabu in the main event. They ended up reuniting in ECW, defeating Dudley, or I guess Jeffrey Bradley, and Vampire Warrior. Oh, you guys don't know Vampire Warrior? Look up Gangrel. Does that ring any bells? Oh, it does? Oh, there you go then. There you go, Gangrel, plain and simple. And then just a few days later, they ended up defeating Dudley and Too Cold Scorpio. I actually do remember Too Cold Scorpio. He was one of the toughest dudes in ECW. And then of course, honestly, it begs the question: do they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? Yeah, they do. I'm not gonna say anything else about it. They deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Not much else to say about that. Braun Breaker should induct them, plain and simple. But that brings me to the question of the day. What was your all-time favorite Steiner Brothers moment? It could be it can involve Scott Steiner, Rick Steiner, or even both for that matter. I think my favorite moment, would probably have to be Scott Steiner winning the two Feast or Fired briefcases. I think that right there was just That right there was history in the making. Right there. But that will do it for this episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash the thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want to see more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue, which get posted every Monday, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys do not miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. All the links will be down in the description below. And if you guys have any fan mail that you guys want to send me and you guys want me to open it up on the channel, all the info will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.